If you're doing everything right with food and your body is still inflamed, puffy, stiff, achy, tired, listen closely. Inflammation is not only about what you eat, it's about a body that has been running on high alert for years, maybe even decades, and it can't tell the danger is over. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what exactly and actually is feeding the fire, why movement, not another supplement, is the one most underused way to bring it down. Your body already knows how. It just needs the right signal.
Tired of feeling stuck, unseen, or like your body isn't yours anymore? It's time for a reset. Welcome to An Ageless Life, the Midlife Reset Show, where science, movement, and mindset help you feel strong, energized, and like yourself. I'm Diana Debbie, a clinical pharmacist, Argentine tango dancer and instructor, and your guide for redefining how women thrive and grow in midlife and beyond. Let's get started.
Let me tell you how I found out. About 10 years ago, I thought I had figured it out. I cleaned up my diet and the food that I ate. I was dancing more than I had in years, so I was getting my movement in, plus hours of tango a week. And on paper, I was the healthiest I've ever been. And my body was having none of it. I started waking in the middle of the night. My legs were sore and I couldn't get comfortable, so I couldn't sleep. My waist started to get a little bit thicker, and it wasn't weight gain. In the morning, I was stiff. My face was a little bit puffy, especially around the eyes. I kept explaining it away. Too much dancing, not enough sleep, the years of stress and whatever. Then my allergies started to get worse. I had to add another medication, and still they were not getting better. And that was the thread that finally pulled the whole thing loose. Because I'm a pharmacist, and I know allergies are inflammation. Same machinery. Once I saw that, I saw all of it. The puffiness, the stiffness, the thickening around the midsection. It all added up. And I knew exactly what I was looking at. My body wasn't failing me. It was inflamed. And I was right. And here's what took me embarrassingly long to see. It wasn't my plate. It wasn't that I needed to move more. I was moving plenty. Even the dancing I loved was part of it. Late nights, early mornings, on call in between, no real recovery area. I was asking my body to perform constantly and not giving it the rest and repair time that it needed. It was running on hot for months, doing everything it could to hold me together, and it never once got the signal that it was safe to rest. I'm Diana Debbie, a clinical pharmacist of 40 years experience, Argentine tango dancer and instructor, and this is Midlife Reset. This episode is part of a series called Running on Full, where we take apart where your energy and why your energy quits in midlife and how to get it back. If you caught last week's episode on go mode, this builds right on that. If not, you're in exactly the right place and you can start here. So today we want to talk about inflammation, but not the way that you've heard about it 100 times. Not cut these foods, take these supplements, buy this powder, because you've done all of that and you're still puffy and stiff and achy in a way that doesn't match how clean you eat. So let me explain what is going on in plain English, because here is where it clicks. And I need you to hear this first, because you've been sold for this concept, for the opposite of this, for many years. Inflammation is not the enemy. Inflammation is how you heal. The problem is if the inflammation never shuts off. For example, you cut your hand, the area gets red, it's swollen, gets tender, and that's not damage, that's the repair showing up. That's your immune system rushing in saying, clean the wound, rebuild the tissue. Without inflammation, you would not recover from a cut, from a cold, from a hard week, or anything. It is one of the most intelligent things your body does. It's a good thing. It's the signal to heal. So the goal is never to completely get rid of inflammation. You don't want that. Healthy inflammation has an off switch. It flares, it does its job, and then it stops. Flare, repair, off. Short, loud, over. The problem in midlife isn't usually the loud kind. It is the quiet, more seductive piece. The low, consistent background hum of immune system that is never fully switched off. It's not a fire alarm. It's the stove left on low all day, every day, for years. You don't see the flames. You feel the heat, the puffiness, the stiffness, the achiness, the fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. A body that feels older than it is. And what keeps that stove on? A big part of it is exactly what we talked about last week. Your nervous system is stuck in go mode. Remember, go mode is your stress state. When your body thinks there's a threat, it does not just spike your heart rate. It also tells your immune system, get ready, prepare for injury, prepare for damage, stay on alert. That's a brilliant system if you're actually in danger. It is a disaster when the danger is your inbox, your calendar, or 20 years or more of never fully coming down. Here's the thing. Your body cannot tell the difference between being chased by Godzilla and a full mailbox. It is a real, physical, run-for-your-life threat and a modern, low-grade, never-ending calendar, the bills, the text that you haven't answered, same alarm, same chemistry. Your body treats them the same. And it keeps the stove on. It might be on low, but it keeps it on and you're a little inflamed all the time, waiting for a fight that never comes. This is why food alone doesn't finish the job. You eat perfectly and still your body hands you the message, we're under attack all day long. The plate is one input. The nervous system is another. And most women have been told, obsess over the food and the plate, and they completely ignore the other one. So here's the good news, and it's the whole reason behind this episode. Your body already knows how to bring inflammation down. It does it on its own the minute it believes danger is over. You don't have to force it, you have to signal it. And one of the most direct, most underused, and ignored ways to send that signal is movement. Now, it's probably not the movement that you're thinking. I'm not talking about punishing yourself on a treadmill. That's done hard enough. It's just another stressor. Another message that says, you're running from something. It may not be Godzilla, but you're running from something. And that's not what I mean. I mean the kind of movement that we did in Osaka, like I talked about in the last episode. It's gentle, it's rhythmic, it's enough to work the body, but not enough to trigger the alarm. Because here's what happens when you move that way. Your muscles move, not just your bones. When they contract, they release these messengers into your body that calm the fire and steady your mind. They tell your immune system to stand down and the stove needs to turn off. They reach your brain and leave it clearer and calmer and more able to meet whatever the day brings. And I love the name of these. Researchers call them the hope molecule. The scientific name is mitochondria. I prefer the hope molecules. You make them by moving. If you sit still for years, they go quiet. Movement also does something much similar. It moves fluid in your body. Your body has all of this fluid called the lymph system that clears out waste, calms inflammation, and it doesn't really have a pump that does that, not like your heart and blood. It moves when you move. Sit still all day, it sits. Move, and it circulates and clears out. And underneath it all, the gentle rhythmic movement does the thing we talked about last week. It walks your nervous system out of that go mode and toward rest. And a nervous system that feels safe stops screaming at the immune system to stay on alert. The stove turns down, not because you forced it, but because you finally told your body the truth. We're okay now. And there's a bonus, and it's the reason this becomes something you can actually keep doing. When you move, your body pays you in those oh-so-good chemicals. The hope molecule, endorphins, the warm calm that people have after they've done a run. Dopamine, the little hit of done. Serotonin, the steady, settled kind of good. You've heard these called the happiness chemicals, and you don't need to know the names of these, and you don't need to push yourself to get them. Gentle, rhythmic movement releases them. So the same 2 minutes that you get the anti-inflammatory signal and lift the mood, your body literally rewards you for doing the thing that calms it down. Same contractions that make the hope molecules make these two. One move, two gifts. That is why I say movement is not understood and very underutilized for anti-inflammatory reasons. Nobody sells it to you because nobody can put it in a bottle. So let me give you something to actually do, like I did last week. I want you to think about your day in terms of one word: stillness. How many hours in a row does your body hold completely still? Or pretty much still. For a lot of us, it's most of the day. Think about sitting behind your computer. Most of your body is still. You're sitting in a meeting, then you're driving, then you're on the couch. That's hours of stillness. And we wonder why we feel stiff and heavy. So today's practice is not a workout. It's the opposite of workout. I want you to break up the stillness every hour or two. And if you need to start with every 3, that's great. Do some gentle movement for 2 minutes. It might be you just roll your shoulders, you stretch your arms out, you move your head a little bit. Whatever it is, do something. You can walk into another room and walk back, swinging your arms. For me, I walk backwards and forwards. It's Argentine tango. I don't always have the heels on, but it's that movement. You want to move enough to feel your body, but not to alarm it. And this is a great tool to help you remember. Setting a timer in your phone, absolutely once an hour, once every 2 hours, to stretch, to move, to get up, to look around, to feel something besides that stillness. Something gentle, something rhythmic. Rhythmic can be walking, enough to feel your body not enough to send it into alarm. We're not trying to burn anything. You're sending a signal over and across the day. The danger is over. You can stand down. Little messages all day. That's what turns the stove to love. Do that for a week and pay attention, not to the scale, to the stillness in your hands in the morning, to how your body feels getting ready in the morning, or getting out of the car, or getting out of bed. That's your data. That's your body answering back. And so, to be clear where I stand, I'm a pharmacist, and I will always tell you the truth about these things. I'm not here to help you throw out your anti-inflammatory foods. And I'm certainly not telling you to stop anything your doctor has told you to do. Keep the vegetables. Keep working with whomever you're working with. What I'm adding is a piece almost nobody gives you. The signal your body's been waiting for, that has nothing to do with your plate and everything to do with how you move through the day. This is the second layer of running on full. Last week it was nervous system. This week it's inflammation and how to keep that fire out. These are not two separate problems. They're the same story, but it's two different chapters. So what's coming next? We're going to go into sleep. And it's not the get the 8 hours lecture that you've heard a million times, but what your body actually supposes to be doing when you're down, and why so many capable women lie awake at 3 a.m. doing everything but resting. So in closing, the fire you can't see is real, but it's not a life sentence, and it's not your fault for eating the wrong thing. It's a body that's been on alert for too long, waiting for permission to stand down. Start with 2 minutes. Your body already knows how to put the fire out. It just needs you to tell it it's safe. And if you want to look at what your own body is asking for, I'd love to talk to you. It's a complimentary call, 20 minutes. Check the link in the show notes. Or you can go to anagelesslife.com and book a session with me. If this lands for you, then follow the show to find out what I have coming next. That's it for now. Talk to you soon.
That's it for this reset. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's episode gave you something to think about, I'd love to have you subscribe so you never miss what's next. And remember to grab your free gift, your midlife superpower, 5 simple power moves to feel like yourself again. The address for this link is anagelesslife.com/superpower. Thanks again. Bye-bye.